Welcome stylists, barbers, isties. You are now tuned into the I'm for Salons Content and Mindset podcast. A place where we break down the mindset and motivation it takes to grow your beauty business. Here's your host, 13-year marketer, world-traveling award-winning artist and musician, the brain behind the brand, Freddie D.
Everybody, welcome back to the I'm for Salons Content and Mindset podcast, where we bring you knowledge on content and having the best mindset to achieve growth within this industry that is the beauty world. Today, we have from Kentucky. You know I love me some Kentucky, y'all.
Yeah.
My favorite part of who is that boys round here don't listen to the Beatles when he says we don't do the ducky. No, not in Kentucky, because these girls around here, yeah, they still love you. So we have Megan all the way from Kentucky, and she has a wonderful story. She has been in the beauty industry for over 10 years, I believe, and she is going to tell you all about that. So Megan, please introduce yourself and tell our crew a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Freddie, for having me. This is super exciting. Yes, I have been in the industry now for almost 20 years, which is insane, insanely awesome. But my name is Megan Watson, and I'm coming to you from Flemingsburg, Kentucky. So I'm from a very small rural area, and I have lived here my entire life, born and raised. So this is definitely a big part of who I am, is being from rural America. But I have been, like I said, I've been in the beauty industry now for about 20 years. And I got my start in the industry as a receptionist in a salon. So I started that when I was about 16. And I'll never forget because I was 16 at the time, I'll never forget when I came home and I told my mom that I thought I wanted to be a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
And her reaction was a lot of concern.
Mm-hmm.
She was very concerned for me, only because she wanted me to have a life that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted me to be able to take vacations. She wanted me to have retirement. She wanted me to have a life that was comfortable. And she was worried that I would struggle my entire life. And that was just her motherly nature to worry about her daughter. But I knew when I was 16, and I don't know what made me recognize it at that time, but I knew when I was 16 that this was the industry for me. And I knew that there was so much potential in this industry, and there was so many different things that you could do within this industry, that I just felt it deep down in my core that this was it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment forward, it was like laser vision. This was the goal, that I was going to be a hairdresser. I was going to be, as successful as I could be and push past every single boundary that there is. And coming from a small town, the thing that seems to be an obstacle for anyone coming from a small town, especially when you're talking about an industry that a lot of people aren't really familiar with, a big obstacle is having others understand your vision. Because my vision was enormous. My vision was bigger than I could even put into words. And you can hear, like, I still get choked up talking about it, because I felt it. Like I said, I felt it in my core that I could do this and I could make this as big as I wanted it to be. And like I said, sharing that vision with people that don't necessarily understand your vision can be challenging at best. And I think that, that is something that a lot of people have struggled with, is having other people and their loved ones and their community understand their vision. But what I have learned is that it's not necessarily about having other people understand your vision. It's having yourself understand your vision,
Mm,
and knowing that others' words sometimes aren't coming from a place of, discouragement, if that's
mhm.
even a word.
Yep, yep.
It's not coming from that place. It's coming from them not understanding, and they're
Mm,
trying to understand. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been in the industry for 20 years. Um, got my start very early in the salon world. I graduated high school, went straight into beauty school, and I'm a licensed instructor in the state of Kentucky. I played that card for a little while, which was amazing. But I'm also a Redken artist, and I travel nationally educating other hairdressers about Redken and about hair color, about design, about finishing, about
mm.
salon business. I dabble in a lot of it. Now, I will say that my heart is truly in hair color because it was my first love.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been doing the hair thing for a long time. And I'm still in the salon today. I work in a salon here in my hometown. I'm a co-owner of our salon, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. What an incredible ride.
I love that. And I love that you touched on the part of it. The vision is as big as you believe it could be, because that's the one thing that people always forget. It's like no one's going to see that vision that you have in your mind, and no one could see it play out but you, because you are the one that is creating it. So I love that.
Absolutely.
And there's something else that you touched on. You said that you're a Redken artist and educator. What does that mean?
Yes. Okay. So Redken artistry has changed my life, and I'll I'll give you a little backstory about how I became a Redken artist, what led up to that moment. But what a Redken artist is we are a team of educators
Mhm,
that travel, whether it's locally, whether it's nationwide. We also have artists that are global, they travel worldwide.
mhm,
Um, but we are a team of people, of hairdressers that love our industry so much and believe in the power of education to our core, and love this brand so much that we choose to step out into salons, step onto stages, and inspire others through, again, through hair cutting, through hair color, through design, through motivational sessions. There's so many things that we do. But yeah, as a little snapshot of what we are all things Redken. We are Redken gurus, and we step into salons and onto stages to share the Redken love with people from all over the nation, all over the world, and in our communities.
I love that. I love that. So
Yeah,
now, from my understanding, is every time I see you, you're running on a beach, you're in some
yeah.
foreign city, you are literally living life. So, how do you think that growing up in that small town prepped you for traveling the world like you do now?
I'm going to say that in complete honesty, it didn't.
Hmm.
Because, being from a small town, we tend to stay within our small town. So, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what I guess what prepped me, if you will, for getting ready for this is the belief that I had in myself.
Hmm.
The belief that, I'll never forget, whenever you come into Redken Artistry, we go through something called the Redken Artist Induction. And in the Redken Artist Induction, that is where we do our trainings, and that's what gets us ready to
Hmm.
step out into the world to spread, the message of Redken.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget, whenever that was beginning, we did all of our trainings in New York City.
Hmm.
And so I was a definite country mouse. Like I hadn't really booked like a lot of flights. I hadn't booked a lot of, travel. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have to figure this out. But the
Hmm.
thing is that I believed in it so much that I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing, but this is the path that I'm taking, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
figure it out. And that's literally what I did. So it was just learning through doing it.
It's that determination between you and others that sets you apart, because a lot of people don't realize it's that you could have quit along the way. Just because, like
Oh
you
yeah.
said, it was such a different atmosphere, and that's usually what scares people. But on the other side of that fear is a success. So, like I said, it's wonderful seeing like how far you have come. I know that recently we just did a video with you talking about your whole life story and what you create for people, and that's what got us to get you on the podcast, because there was so much knowledge that Megan was dropping that didn't make it even into the video, that we're gonna have to make separate videos with for her, because it's just she was out there spitting out gym after gym after gym after gym. So, Megan, to transition, what is a hair motivational quote that you live by, and why does that quote resonate with you?
Oh my goodness. So there are so many quotes that I resonate with, but the one that always sticks with me, and it's the one that every time I step on stage, every time I step into a salon, this is the quote that goes through my mind. And it's actually a quote by Maya Angelou. And the quote is, I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And, in our industry, a lot of industries, but in our industry in particular, there's so much knowledge being
Mm-hmm.
spit, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
got knowledge coming from everywhere. And, with social media and things, there's just so much information that's constantly being shared with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, so it's not always about, are you going to remember exactly what I said to you? No, you're not going to remember exactly what I said. There's way too much information to
Mm-hmm.
remember every word that I said, no matter how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to remember, oh, what was that technique that Megan showed us? What was
Mm-hmm.
that color formula that Megan showed us? But my goal is that after everyone leaves one of my programs, that they're just blown away with the motivation to keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
You are completely limitless. You can do whatever you want to do in this industry. And that education is not a destination. Success is not a destination. It's a continuous journey. It is a journey that you have to keep pushing and keep searching and keep digging. And really, that is my biggest goal for every program, is to not always remember every single thing that I did and every single thing that I said, but to remember how Megan Watson made you feel. And I hope that I made you feel invincible, and that the world is your oyster, and that you can do whatever it is in this life that you want to do. All you have to do is focus on it and believe strongly in yourself and believe in your own personal power, because you're a powerful being, and that your success is completely up to you. You can do whatever it is in this world that you want. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your background is. That is completely irrelevant. What matters is what you are and who you are, and just believing in yourself and believing in your own magic, because you already have
You just gave me chills right there. That right there that was perfect. So we got a question from our community that came in, and they want to know. So you said that the world of coloring is your love, and they want to know, how did you find out what resonated with you in the hair industry when the industry is such a big oyster?
Yeah, I mean, that's such an incredible question, because to say that I don't love design, which is haircutting, to
Hmm.
say that I don't love design, and to say that I don't love finishing, I love both of them.
Hmm.
But for me, my eyes and my brain has always went towards hair color,
Hmm.
because I'm fascinated with the science. I'm fascinated with the chemistry. I'm fascinated with what we can make your hair do with a series of chemicals,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
But I think for me, that my eyes have always drawn to colors.
Hmm.
And I think too that it's not like to sit here and say that I am a fantasy hair colorist, that's playing with blues and pinks and yellows and greens. Can I do it? Sure, I can do it. But my niche and who I am, it's creating colors for the everyday person, colors that are salon friendly, colors that have longevity, colors that have suitability. That's really what I feel the strongest about, because that is, I like to call myself the hair colorist, right? I am the hair colorist of the people, because I like to do things that you can take into the salon and do tomorrow. On your regular clients. You don't have to have a specific market for what I teach. But with the same spin, a very classic hair color that is suitable for anybody walking down the street. You can take that exact same application. You can take that exact same principle, and you can flip it and spin it and make it into whatever it is that you want to. You can make it into fantasy color. You can make it into whatever is suitable for you. It's really understanding the principles of why we do what we do, and taking those principles and shaking them up and making it to suit you and to suit your guests. So hair color has always been something that I felt so strongly about, because it's all about grounding you in the why, grounding you in why is it that we do what we do, and what makes these things happen. And then taking that and creating whatever it is that you want to create. I'm all about empowering people to be whoever they want to be, and to have the clientele of whatever it is to be you out. But that's one thing that always, again, that spoke to me so much about hair color, is it's all about understanding the principles of us, why we do what we do, and then creating whatever it is that you want to create with it.
What a great outlook on that. So could you potentially, if it's too deep of a question, you don't have to answer it, but what is a memory that you have educating students that was like an aha moment for you?
Oh gosh, that is a deep question, Freddie. I think, okay, I've got one, and I'm going to try really hard not to get choked up, because if you've attended, Meg, know that it can get a little emotional sometimes, because you know how I feel about this industry. But it was recently at a program that I taught, and I believe that the program might have been in Oklahoma. But, I always open up my programs with a little bit about who I am, and about coming from a small town, small community, and that, that's not going to limit you. But I was sharing a little bit of that story with the attendees, and the attendees came on or went on break. And whenever they went on break, one of the attendees in particular came up to me, and she was like, "Meg, can I talk to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. What's going on?" I figured she had like a hair color question or something that she was hoping that I would touch on in the program. But she asked me, she was like, "Can I hold your hand?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." She said, "Can I hold your hand?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." She said, "I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart that what you said to us in the beginning of this program about how you can be anything that you want to be," she's like, "it gave me chills." And she said that she actually has an issue with her hand that has, it's really caused her a lot of pain and a lot of struggle in trying to be in the hair industry, because her hand, her hand just doesn't want to do what it needs to do, if that makes sense, due to an injury. And she said, "My hand has given me a lot of problems over the years." And she said, "But it's people like you that make me remember that I can do this, and that I am strong, and that I have the ability to do this." And she said, "And I just wanted you to know that the words that you shared with us, I'll remember them for the rest of my life." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know if I can continue." Like, I don't know if I can continue. I don't know. But that was one of the best moments, I think, in my entire career, because it wasn't necessarily about a technique. It wasn't about a color formula. It was about believing in yourself and pushing through boundaries and pushing through things that can hold you back. And not only that, but, I share my story with people all the time, every day I share my story with people. And so sometimes I think to myself, like, oh, I'm going to share my story again. Here it comes again, but to think that, gosh, that part of me resonates with so many people, and that I have to keep telling people, I have to keep sharing it with people, because it truly is giving them a sense of power and a sense of believing in themselves. And it's just, it was incredible.
Yeah. You never truly know how powerful you are until you are in that position where you can get back to others, because like people see you as the guru, the all knowing. And it's like, here we are. And that's a beautiful thing about why I got into the industry too. It's like these hairstylists are just as big as these celebrity musicians that are on stage, these people who have millions of fans. They don't even know it yet. And that's the interesting thing, because just to do a little backstory with me, it's like whenever I was traveling with musicians, I'll never forget, like the true celebrity musicians had like a personal masseuse and a personal hairstylist at every single concert. So
Mm-hmm.
even if their hair wasn't bad, they'd have someone that styled their hair and did design and even dyed hair before they went on stage, just so that they could look a certain way. And that is that unsung hero that is never talked about, because no one ever thinks about
Absolutely.
that. But that person right there is the reason that we love that celebrity. You know?
Absolutely. That's the thing. Like, in order, a lot of people see their image
Mhm.
as a piece of their strength.
Mhm.
And I understand that. When you feel that you look your best and you're presenting your best self to the world,
Mhm.
just like those celebrities, it gives you this great sense of confidence. And
Mhm.
confidence is really what can lead you such a long way, is your confidence. So absolutely, there's a lot of unsung heroes that don't get talked about a lot, and we are definitely some of them, for sure. Just like
Mhm.
the videographers, the photographers. Like, if it wasn't for you, these images wouldn't be all over the internet.
Mhm. It's always a combination of it all.
Yeah.
One thing that you said in there that kind of struck a question in my brain is, so you're going around and you're teaching all of these people how to be more confident in their hair coloring, how to grow their business in different ways. Do you by chance have any techniques or any suggestions, tips, tricks that my community could use as far as getting that ideal customer, getting those people in that door that want that coloring that they love doing? Because sometimes I feel like
Yes.
they come to me and they say that they struggle with, how do I reach that target customer? And with you, with your knowledge from traveling the world, you know how to talk with people from different places. So I feel like you would be the source to come to for this question.
Yes. So I have a few things. So the first thing that I will say is, whenever you're trying to bring in those, your perfect client, because we all have a different perception of what is your perfect client. I
Hmm.
think that what you need to think about is really, who are you targeting? Are you targeting a clientele of vivid hair color?
Hmm.
Are you targeting blondes? Are you
Hmm.
targeting redheads? Are you targeting brunettes?
Hmm.
Really narrow it down to who is your ideal client.
Hmm.
Really, what is it that you're looking for? Because the thing to remember is that when you get that one ideal guest in your chair and you do beautiful work on them,
Hmm.
friends talk.
Hmm.
And so whenever, let's say Sally came in and she's your ideal client and you nailed that hair color and she was so happy.
Hmm.
The thing to remember to always do is to make sure that you have the conversation with Sally,
Hmm.
saying, I really enjoyed your hair today, doing your hair today. Today was amazing. Your hair looks beautiful. Let me give you some referral cards to please
Hmm.
hand out to your friends, because Sally's friends are going to be like Sally.
Hmm.
And that's what you want. You want
Hmm.
friends like Sally. So I will say, that is huge when you find that ideal client. But how do you get them in the door? Right.
Hmm.
So our industry now is completely different than when I got started. When I got started, we were handing out business cards in the Kroger, okay, in the produce section at the Kroger, okay, and so it's very different now. But the thing is that now you have social media, right? And the thing to remember about social media is that don't get too focused on how many followers you have. Because I think sometimes people look at the number, they're like, oh, I only have this many followers. Oh, shoot, I need to have more followers. The thing to remember is that it doesn't really matter how many people follow you, it's who they are. So who are these people following you? Because you want to make sure that who's following you are people that are in your community, that could be potential guests. You know, you want to be trying to reach those people. So, you know, make sure that you're posting pictures of your work. Clearly, everybody says that. Post your work, post your work. But for me, I think that the thing about posting pictures of your work is that guests like to see your work. Yes, they love to see your work. But what you're looking for is they're looking for a solution to a problem. So let's say, for example, your ideal client is blondes, right? Blonding is the number one requested service in a salon, blonding. So you want to have more blonde clients. When you post those pictures of your work, make sure that you're captioning that or even doing a voiceover of how dark the guest's hair naturally was and what you did to get them to this point and giving them a little bit of the why behind it, because the guest is looking for a solution to their problem. And most of the time with blonding, you know, you're looking for someone that is getting the correct tonality. You're looking for someone that is keeping the integrity of the hair in mind. Those things are what people are looking for. They're looking for a solution to a problem. So figure out what your problem is from your ideal client and start spitting solutions, because that's when you get people in the door, when you're saying, I can fix your problem.
Okay, that's a great outlook on it. Most people, I always say the common issue is people will just post, I'm available Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with
Oh gosh, yes.
no other words in between. Not what they offer or anything. Just I'm open these
Right,
days. Come see me with an upside down smiley face. And it's like,
right.
do
And
you
that's
all?
and like I get it. Like I get it. I see what you're trying to, but then again, like you were saying, the thing to remember is yes, you're open those days, but you're open for what?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I think we need to think about too is that when you're showing all of your availability, sometimes it makes you look like you are undesirable. Like, why are you so available? And it could be maybe you're just getting started in the industry. You know, sure, you're going to have all kinds of availability. But here's the thing. When you get on and you're like, I have availability Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like that's giving a lot of options. So instead of doing that, think about narrowing down the availability as far as I have availability Monday at 10 o'clock, right? You know, for XYZ service, and then give some examples of what you could do for them. And then here's the thing. When that guest reaches out to you and they say, oh, I see you're available Monday at 10 o'clock. Would you have anything else that day? That's when you can give that specific guest different options and availability. Don't just put it all over social media, because then it just looks like, oh my gosh, there's just so many options. Like, I don't even know. So, you know, kind of think about it a little bit that way too.
That's a perfect tip. And I hope everybody heard what she said. You do not have to post every one of your 20 available spots. Post the 2 to 3 that you're trying to target. And then from there, you can open up the conversation with guests and give them your options. Because the true thing is it's a hook. It's like fishing. And I hate to compare it to that analogy because some people are like, well, my customer's not a fish. Well, you're trying to lure your customer in to the bank. And if you are not luring them in, then they're going to stay within that pond and they're just going to keep swimming around. You have a pond where there's a ton of fishers coming every single day on social media. There are a million fishers that are alongside you that are posting their availability as well. Some of them have the cool tackle box where they have a really cool hook in there that grabs people. And if you do not have that really cool hook or that ability and you're just casting a line out there with no hook, which is just all your open availability, you're not going to pull in anything. So I
Right.
love that you said that.
Absolutely.
So we got to ask, Megan, what is next for you in this world? Because you've already achieved so much, but what is your goal? What is your mission from here on out?
My goal and my mission is it's funny how things change throughout the years about what you want to see as yourself and what you think your idea of success is
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Because for me, it's changed a million times.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I knew that my that the denominator for all of my goals was
Mm-hmm.
to be the most amazing educator that I could be. That
Mm-hmm.
was always the common denominator, but it was how I wanted to do that has changed throughout the years. So
Mm-hmm.
I will say that where I am right now is that, my goal is to continue to
Mm-hmm.
go into salons and to connect with people and to form relationships with people that, are they're looking for motivation. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking for the roadmap of where am I supposed to be going? What
Mm-hmm.
am I supposed to be doing? Because I think sometimes that's a big question for a lot of people. So I kind of see myself as hopefully becoming a little bit more of a compass
Mm-hmm.
to a lot of people with helping them to find their direction, helping
Mm-hmm.
them to find what makes their fire burn,
Mm-hmm.
because that's different for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
So I see myself as, again, still going into salons, continuing to do shows, reaching as many people as I can, and helping them to really feel and understand the Redken love, because
Mm-hmm.
we are a very unique company that
Mm-hmm.
sees our salon professionals as these incredible entities that have all of the potential and the possibility is at their fingertips. It's just to remember the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need to continue educating? Why do you need to continue pushing? And really, it's the why is so that you can continue to grow. Because
Mm-hmm.
when something isn't growing, they just get stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So many people say, "Well, don't you get bored? Don't you get sick and bored of talking about hair all
Mm-hmm.
day, every day?" The answer to that is no.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I talk a lot more than just hair.
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot more than just technique and color formulas. I talk about feeding your spirit, feeding
Mm-hmm.
who you are, and being comfortable with who you are, and, really growing that. So, again, I see myself as continuing to go into salons, to continue to share the Redken love, the Redken motivation, the Redken inspiration, but to truly help others to see their potential and to know that their boundaries are limitless and that all they have to do is decide that this is what I'm going to do. This
Mm-hmm.
is why I'm going to do it. And to really help them to determine what their idea of success is, because
Mm-hmm.
it's different for so many people. And I think through a lot of things, especially with social media, we tend to get the idea that success is working on 12 clients a day.
Mm-hmm.
Success is being triple booked, triple this, up charging everything, and that's fine. If that is how you get down, then you keep getting down. Like, I'm here for it. I
Mm-hmm.
am all the way here for it. But that's not success to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes success means, having a steady book, a steady clientele, having a relaxed environment where you're
Mm-hmm.
getting a little bit different connection with your guests. That is success to some people.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on who they are. And I just really want for people to understand that success is something that is extremely personal, and
Mm-hmm.
that it's my job to help you to figure out what your idea of success is and to help you figure out how in the world you find it. Because I truly, with Redken, we always say that we want people to, live best, to learn better, earn better, all the things. And that is truly what I want to do. I want people to help them to live their best lives and to live their dream. And a lot of the time, the key to that is finding your community.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these people you should be surrounding yourself with? And for me, my teams that I work with, they are my community. For the longest time, I felt like this weird outcast black sheep that nobody understood and thought was a little bit crazy. And maybe I am. But when I found Redken and I found this tribe of people, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a sense of empowerment for me, that these people are like me. So, find your tribe, find your idea of success. But again, that's where I see myself going in the future. It's really helping people to unwrap their idea of success is, and to continue inspiring them in salon and on stage, and just continue to dig deeper for myself, and to continue to become a better educator, a better hair colorist, and understanding our industry inside and out, so that I can help others to do so as well.
I love that. I love that. So as we land this plane, Megan, what is
Yes.
something motivational that you can leave our community with?
Something motivational that I tell so many people, especially I tell a lot of beauty school students this, is that you can dream as big as you want. You can reach for whatever it is that you want to reach for.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing to remember is that in order to do that, it's really hard to go at it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a very special person to be able to overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so my biggest piece of advice that I can give to anyone, if they've been in the industry for 20 years, or maybe they're a beauty school student and they have 3 hours, in the school, the thing that I could share is that to find like-minded people and to hold on tight to them, because they can help you to weather the storm. They understand your vision. They understand your drive, and they are going to tell you to get up and to keep going. So find a mentor, find somebody that you look up to. And I always tell people that if you find a mentor, always make sure that whoever your mentor is, it's somebody that you would change places with. That you would think, man, they have really they have done the thing, and I aspire to be like them, because those are the people that can help you to get where you want to be. So really, it's just about finding your people and holding on to them very tight, and to continue your growth, and to remember that success, again, like I said before, success is not a destination. It is a continual journey. And I have been very privileged to work with some of the best hairdressers in the world, literally the best hairdressers in the world. These people are shooting in Vogue magazine. They're doing, New York Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, all these things. Those people still have mentors. Those people still dig deep every single day. So success is not a destination. It's a continuous journey. And that's probably my biggest piece of advice that I have for people.
What a gem to drop right there. Megan, truly, truly, truly appreciate and value your time, because I know your schedule's busy and you still came and gave the goods to our community. Where can we all follow you on socials and catch up with you afterwards, after this episode? Because I know some people are going to want to hear you.
Oh, I would love that. You can find me on Instagram at _Megan Watson. So that's THE_Megan Watson. You can find me on TikTok under the same handle. And then you can also find me on Facebook just under Megan Watson.
Perfect. Truly appreciate your time, and thank you so much for everything you gave.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Freddie. This was really fun. Really enjoyed it.
Hey there. Are you tired of spending countless hours creating content with no tangible results? Have you had enough of watching your ad dollars go down the drain? Are you left scratching your head, wondering what to do after taking that perfect snapshot? Well, listen up. we have some exciting news for you. The team at I'm for Salons is rolling out a special offer exclusively for our podcast listeners. Guess what? We're offering you free access to our course community. Yes, you heard it right, absolutely free. This typically costs $200 per year, but we believe in empowering you with the right tools and knowledge. It's simple. Use the code FREE2023 to gain free access. Just head over to our website, log in, and introduce yourself. We're all about sharing daily content tips, tricks, and growth techniques. So why wait? Let's kickstart your journey to success together. Your time to shine is now.
Thank you for tuning into the Content and Mindset podcast brought to you by the dedicated team at I'm for Salons LLC. Make sure to follow us on socials at I'm for Salons or on the web at imforsalons.com. Stay motivated, friends. See you next episode.